Tell us how let's start with your childhood. How was your childhood in South Sudan?
Yeah.
Were you born in Yambio?
Yes, I was born in Yambio a year before the conflict in South Sudan started, because the conflict in South Sudan started in 1983.
What was the conflict in South
The
Sudan?
conflict
Tell us
was
about it.
between South Sudan and the Northern Sudan, where there was a conflict over the issue of marginalization in terms of religion. Like the North, which is Muslim dominated, would want all South Sudanese to become Muslims, and South Sudan is mostly African and Christian dominated part of Sudan. So they wanted all South Sudanese to become Muslims. And also, in terms of economic development, most of the resources in Sudan are found in South Sudan, like the natural resources, mostly in South Sudan. So the Northerners would collect all these resources, take them to the north and develop Northern Sudan. And also politically, none of the South Sudanese was allowed to ascend to a higher position in the government. Like you can't get to the highest position in the government, like maybe you can't become a president, you can't become a minister if you're not from the Northern Sudan and if you're not a Muslim. And also, most of the South Sudanese were denied better education and better job opportunities because of this. So as such, the South Sudanese took arms against against the Sudanese government, and the fighting went on for over 21 years. That's almost half of my life, the 21 years. So South Sudanese government fought against the Northern Sudan. So it was a very horrible moment for most of South Sudanese, because it was hard to get the food because you are not settled down to cultivate, and also you are always on the run, like taking refuge to either Congo, Central Africa, or Uganda, or wherever. You take refuge, and the life in the refugee camp was also very difficult. So it was hard. And also in terms of education, there was no education system. And if you are told it was there, so it was not stable. Like you come to a certain, you take refuge to a certain village. After 1 month, you are chased from that village. Then you have to move to another place in search for refuge. So education was not stable. So people had to undergo this kind of hardship for the last 21 years. But towards the end of the 21 years, that was when at least education started to stabilize and things started to become normal.